That would make us Mexican.
Yes, brother dear, we're half Mexican. So the fact that mom's name was Maria Angelina Hernandez, that didn't register with you? Or that we called our grandfather Abuelo?
No, not even a little.
How about the fact that mom spoke with a Spanish accent?
I thought she had a speech epidemic.
Your name is Carlos.
I thought she named me after Abuelo.
I'm done.
Welcome back. It's another week and another edition of the Manson Brothers Show. I'm your host, Stone Manson. I'm here with my brother Skull. And this week, we're going to be talking about all measure of things. If it's your first time watching, you're going to dig this one.
Spoilers.
If you're back, welcome back. There will be spoilers, but we're going to talk about the classic George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. We'll be right back.
You got the most prophylactic career in professional wrestling. What are you always telling me? You got to have a more prostitute attitude. Be so negative all the time. Well, that's why I love you boys.
And we're back, and welcome to another edition of
The Manson Brothers Show.
I saved the world, and all we got was this lousy YouTube show.
It's not lousy. It's not lousy.
It's not
We need
lousy.
you to
We
subscribe.
love it. Yeah, thank you. Hit subscribe, please. Again, if you haven't seen the film that we're talking about today, Dawn of the Dead, do yourself a favor. Hit pause. Hit subscribe. Make sure you come back. Watch the movie. I think you'll enjoy it even more once you get to hear what we have to say. Although
Nobody really cares what we have to say.
But here we are.
But we're going to tell you anyway.
And we're going to talk about some other cool stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you might just learn a thing or two.
But probably
so let's kick it off. Dawn of the Dead,
Classic.
the sequel to the obvious, massive classic
Night of
of the Living Dead. Now, this was the first one
Scared me.
where Romero had kind of split from the other guys. And
Yeah.
was no longer allowed to use Living Dead.
Right.
And so I think we can agree that this movie is a rapid departure from the first film.
Yeah.
I
mean, he kept the original idea.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
broke into. I always thought it was an action movie. Like, it's an action movie.
Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I agree with you.
Whereas the first one, that's like a straight up horror film. I mean, it scares the shit. Even today, Night of the Living Dead scares the shit.
It does. Yeah. Well, again, the massive departures, you've got this, roaming in the first one. They're just kind of surrounding you.
Right.
And in this one, they're effectively everywhere.
Right.
I mean,
the world's been taken over. Right.
So
it's beginning now. This has been going on for a while.
Right.
And they're still trying to figure out like how to contain it, if they can contain it. And it's not.
I think one of the coolest parts about this one is you get a bunch of characters who I think you consider specifically action heroes, right? Like you've got a couple police guys and military guys, who are there for a purpose again, versus the kind of accidental hero that we get in
I think what I kind of thought was cool was, like, in the first one, they're trying to get from a rural area to a more populated area.
Yeah.
And in Dawn of the Dead, they're trying to get the hell away from the urban area to go to the rural area. So I thought that was interesting. Also, I think
try not to think that much.
It hurts me. It does.
You can tell it's painful when you do it.
So Dawn of the Dead has the really interesting stuff, like when they say if you don't do this, it's gonna destroy us, right? If you don't destroy the bodies of your dead, this is gonna destroy us.
Yep.
That's a really heavy thing to me. It's like not destroying the bodies, but think of it, because there's more dead bodies on this planet than there is live bodies on this planet.
Well,
So technically, it's a scary premise.
Like, I think that's how they actually kick the premise off, right? They're kind of in the urban area.
And they're hoarding their dead because
they
respect the dead. They don't want to give the dead up to be destroyed, and that's sort of the undoing.
All it takes is one rogue cop.
One nut, like Willie.
And Willie causes a big problem. Now, Willie is responsible for one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can probably guess which one that is.
The shotgun.
Willie pops in the door. It's the first, 3 minutes of the movie, right?
Yeah. Willie shoots the door open, and then all of a sudden it's like,
boom! Exploding head.
I remember the first time I saw this movie, because you could not get it. First of all, we were too young when it came out to see it on the screen. It's 1979, so we were like 10 or whatever.
Talk about our age.
All right. But later we got it on a pirated video.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, when we saw that part, we were like,
I remember reading an article about the movie, and they were talking about how in the first 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, there's an exploding head, and people are like, "Oh my god, I'll never see that." And the first thing I thought was, "Oh my god,
I want to see that.
I have to see.
I need to see
head.
that shit."
But there were some other great effects too. There's the scene where the young lady sees what's her husband, I believe, and he's actually a zombie. She doesn't know it. She goes to run up and give him a hug, and
in my estimation, I'm just gonna guess that was the first time you ever saw in living color, like a chunk taken out of something. Not one chunk, but several chunks.
And let me tell you, props to Tom Savini, because that was nasty. Watch it. It still looks good today. It holds up.
100%
it holds up.
Holds up. I mean, so let me ask you this.
Okay.
So it's a big movie, right? There's a lot of characters. Who's your favorite character?
Oh, it's
Ken Foray.
Yeah, Ken Foray.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, he's so cool.
I mean, he's everybody's face. My favorite too. All right, let's leave Ken Foray out of it. So, because he's the hero. Aside from Ken Foray,
I kind of like the chopper pilot, the dude who was the weather guy, or the traffic guy who went.
Yeah, Steven.
Yeah.
I liked Tom Savini's character Blades.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
I thought he was so jolly and so gleefully like evil, and
I thought it was
having a good time.
When the bikers show up eventually, and we'll touch on this a little bit more in the show. But when the bikers show up, it's funny in that it takes you from this downtrodden film where the characters are trying to survive, right? And all of a sudden,
it's like a big party.
Free for all. They're riding around.
It's a big party.
They're having a blast.
It's having a good old time. But that's where we would be, probably.
Yeah. Hacking zombies with a machete.
Yeah, with the bikers.
Yeah, no doubt.
Except we wouldn't have been that stupid. I'm just saying.
No.
Like, we wouldn't have been that reckless.
I wouldn't have stopped to check my blood pressure in the middle of.
No, like, what? Okay. So why in the world, when you've got all that shit going on, you're in a big mall, right? There's tons of shit you could be doing and looting and whatever you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Why did you care what your blood pressure was?
I don't know. Clearly it was for an effect. And by the way,
a great
effect. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It just kind of leaves the arm there and the blood pressure goes to zero.
What's your favorite effect in the movie? Favorite effect?
Well,
was it the head? You already aforementioned head.
Yeah, but I got to tell you, I love the blood pressure thing too.
I'm gonna go with two.
Okay.
The first one is the machete in the head.
Oh yeah.
It's totally shocked me when I saw it. And the other is when I think it's Tom Savini's buddy Tasso, which was his buddy for years. He's passed away now. God rest him. But he gets eviscerated.
Oh yeah.
Which is a big word for me.
It's very big.
I had to look it up.
But the guts
they pull it, man. It was really real looking.
Savini and Romero were big on that because they did a lot of it in day.
Yeah,
also a lot of it.
I don't like that. But we're not talking about.
We're not talking about that one just yet. I think what we should touch on is probably one of the most polarizing moments in the film. Speaking of effects,
you think it is?
Which would be, well, it's often panned by a lot of people. Well, of course. We get the slow walking zombie when they're refueling the chopper.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna. I knew. See, it's so polarizing. I knew what he was gonna say.
The only person I've ever seen that has remotely that large of a forehead is Peyton Manning. Sorry, Peyton, if you're watching the show, we love you anyway. And it's been said a million times, right?
My buddy always called him coffee can head.
But
not Peyton Manning, the zombie.
You could make a case for either one. This, they call that a 5 head, right, instead of a 4 head. This is like a 7 or 8 head for sure. Now, again, spectacular effect, great idea.
That's 13.
Not when you add them together.
7 and 8.
That's
13.
Like, I'm talking an ascending scale of 4-headedness. But anyway, I digress. It's an awesome effect, super cool, like great idea. It's just that when you're watching the build-up, you can clearly tell that this guy's head has been.
There's no right. Even his kids were like, he's gonna get his head chopped off.
But here's what I would say that's super interesting, though. What stunt guy's got the balls to wear that 30 head or whatever you want to call it and wander into a goddamn helicopter propeller?
Did you wake up as me this morning?
I don't know.
It's an animated blade.
Then why do they need the head?
They pulled the top of the head off.
Oh.
So the blade is animated.
That's what you get when you stay out too late, kids.
Don't do what I do. Do what I say. He woke up with me. See, I'm not the only one that says stupid shit. Right here.
This is why they call it hair of the dog, right here.
I thought they called it hair of the dog because it came from dog's hair.
No.
That's not how
Fight
you...
fire with fire. Haven't you ever heard that saying before?
Yeah, I tried it once, got burned.
Let's move on, shall we? Hey, it's time for one of our favorite segments of the show, viewer emails. And this, you know what? Maybe we should set this up a little bit just in case somebody hasn't seen the show and they're going to watch anyway.
Okay.
These people escape a newsroom, basically in a helicopter.
Right.
There's a zombie apocalypse going on.
Yeah.
They're in Philadelphia, correct?
I believe they're in Pittsburgh. Oh no,
okay.
wait a minute.
No, it is Pittsburgh. And they fly and land on.
No, I think it was Philly. If it was anything like Philly, we may not get out of there alive.
It's a big city, either way. And they land on the roof.
Wait, let's rewind 2 seconds. Remember when they're escaping and they run into the other cops, and there's cops that are escaping on a boat, and they're like, maybe we can make it to one of the islands. Like, what islands? Any islands. Now, do you think that we're going to make it to one of the islands had anything to do with Lucio Fulci's Zombie, which takes place at one of the islands? Or do you think Fulci kind of bit that? Or,
that's a good question.
I mean, the movies came out around the same time. So, I mean, it's doubtful that.
Well, so it had
one.
to take place in Philly because Philly's on the water and Pittsburgh isn't.
Right.
That part,
exactly.
Right?
That's what I mean.
B, I have no idea what island they would try to make it to.
What islands are off
to get to like Staten Island, or something.
What islands are off the coast of Philadelphia?
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the topography of Philadelphia.
Love the city. We've wrestled there a few times.
Yes. Ding ding. What's that? Who's that guy that was from there?
Rocky Balboa.
Oh, that's right, Rocky Balboa.
They got a statue of him somewhere.
I think there's a Frank Stallone thing floating around here somewhere. But anyway, if we're not watching this in order. I don't know. I don't know where the islands would be or where they would go, but I think that's a pretty good point.
Yeah,
it probably is.
Just thinking. Anyway, you may continue.
So thank you. So they land at a mall,
mm-hmm.
And they basically set up shop in the mall where they have this pretty cushy life for a while.
Yeah,
yeah.
They figure out how the only bad thing that happens is the one guy gets bit.
Yeah, but it takes a while.
Because he's going crazy.
Right.
So then the biker gang shows up.
But let's get into first our viewer email because it goes very well with them all.
Okay.
So our buddy Sam Bivich, good buddy from Kenosha, Wisconsin, writes and he says, "Hey guys, love the show. Thanks for having it.
Hi, Sam Bivich from Kenosha.
Was a big fan. Thank you for saving the world. You're welcome, Sam. Thank you for acknowledging it. Many people don't do that. Fuckerhead, if you're watching, we did save the world. So Sam wants to know if you guys got stuck in a mall in the same scenario, what would be the top stores that you would go to first?"
Oh,
wow. Good one, Sam. That's a great
well,
question. I'm going to let you start.
I think much like the Dawn of the Dead, they hit the gun shop. If there's a gun store in there, I'm hitting a gun store because obviously you need to defend yourself against the marauding zombies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we in a zombie apocalypse? Because Sam didn't really say that.
Oh, well, let's assume we're in a zombie apocalypse. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to the gun shop, and then probably to Orange Julius,
and
then probably to Woolworths.
So you're going to the gun shop, Orange Julius, and Woolworths.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will tell you mine in a few. Here's the problems I have with yours. There are no sporting goods stores in malls anymore.
Oh.
And I don't think they sell guns. If they did. Orange Julius, great idea. Do you know how to make an Orange Julius? Because there's not going to be anybody there to make you one.
No.
Okay. That's going to be a problem. Woolworths went out of business like 40 years ago.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, there is no more Woolworths.
No. Well, how about...
You just had some really bad ideas.
Yeah.
Mine.
How about Leavenworth's?
That's not even a store. That's a federal prison, I believe. For military people, is it not?
I don't know. All I know is they said you guys want to go to Leavenworth.
The one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was like, sure. There's a sale.
Anyway,
if there's a sale on shit paper, I'm there.
I would go. They have liquor stores in malls. I don't think they do. But if there's a bar in the mall or a restaurant bar, which is a very good possibility there would be.
Flanagan's Cocktails and Dreams.
I would go and hoard all of the booze from the bar. I would then try to find some kind of food source. And then I'd probably go to like, I don't know, Bed Bath & Beyond, because I like those really nice thread count sheets, you know, when I sleep. I don't sleep that often, but when I do.
Mine are better.
I don't think so.
Take an Orange Julius over thread count.
You want guns and an Orange Julius in a store that's not open anymore.
I got a rifle in my hand and an Orange Julius. I'm good to go.
There's not.
All right, if I had to pick another store,
but if we had to protect ourselves and we needed
toy
weapons,
store,
what stores could you go to find said weapons?
If there was a hardware store or like
there's not a hardware store in a mall.
No, but like J.C. Penney's and them kind of
stores.
Have like
chainsaws and
that's
like
what I mean. They do sell tools. Well, they have electric ones too. They do sell even like home tools, like a hammer or something.
Yeah,
something you could use as a weapon.
I was gonna say, like, if you could go to like Spencer's or one of those places, don't they sometimes have like samurai swords and shit that they sell?
I don't know, maybe like decorative ones. Probably couldn't use it, but you could get if you went to another store. You get cutlery. You could get lots of stuff.
Oh, they always have those cutlery shops in malls too.
Or if you're saying if there's no sporting goods store at all, or just if they don't sell guns.
I don't think there's sporting goods stores in malls anymore.
No, I don't think so.
You could have sneakers out the ass if you wanted to. You could have more Air Jordans than you can shake a stick at, but
I'd wear
much good.
combat boots. They have to be prepared for war.
Actually, they probably do now, you know, with the way malls are going, they're either super high end or they're kind of trashy.
Yeah.
And the trashy ones tend to have more weaponry and stuff like that.
Telling you.
Maybe there'd be a bunch of throwing stuff.
You know what I seen in this mall in Tucson? It was a store what sold like medieval armor and shit, like but it was cool. I mean, you could probably make a weapon. Yeah, you could probably make a weapon out of some of that shit.
And a hat. Well, that's enough of that. Let's talk about something else. So we're back to the mall.
Yeah.
The people are in the mall.
Yeah.
Presumably for a while, everything's great.
Yeah.
They got food, they've got shelter, they can shoot hoops, they got a store, there's tons of activities.
Yeah.
Probably a pool table somewhere.
There's a hockey rink.
Yeah, they feel there was an ice skating rink.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. Monroeville Mall, props, baby, hockey rink. They felt like they had swept the place of zombies,
right,
for the most part, and then they built that faux wall,
yeah.
But then eventually
they built a fake one too.
That's faux.
How could faux be fake? Fake is fake.
Faux.
Faux is a small deer.
It's like
female deer.
Those ads?
Faux, deer, a female deer.
Doe.
No, that's what you pay for when you go get like cigarettes.
We'll get back.
We don't smoke, but if you would, you give them the dough and they give you the shit, right?
We'll get back to Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
The one thing we don't need is grammar lessons from you or anything involving the English language.
I only like the cinnamon grammar ones. That's it. A little butter.
Hold on, please. Can I get another one of these? Thank you. So they're in the mall.
Yeah.
Stuff starts going poorly.
Very poorly, to say the least, because the bikers show up.
And then the bikers come.
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. Because your favorite character can't hold his mud.
Who?
Steven.
Oh, Steven.
He wants to go off the reservation. You know what? Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If let's say we're in the mall, or no, let's say it's them. We're watching them. What if the bikers never show up? Do you think you stay there, or do you at some point?
We
gotta get out of here? Yeah, he's dead already.
He's dead.
Yeah, he's gone.
So here's what I would think would occur. Much like any situation in the world, no matter how great it is, eventually
you got to leave.
You're going to be like, there's got to be something else going on outside of this mall. Plus, eventually they're going to run out of shit that's in the mall.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, sooner or later.
There's presumably not much electricity, although it's running on.
They're saying it's on nuclear and all that. Yeah. So that's how they got around that.
But the food's going to run out.
Yeah.
The fun is going to run out. You've got.
That would probably run out after a week.
You got 2 guys and 1 girl there. So. Something
it depends on
there's going to be some
contention,
some factioning at some point in time. I'm sorry,
a whole lot of factioning.
Yeah, that's life. And the poor gal is going to pick at one point in time, right?
Mom said, "No more factioning. You're going to grow hair on your head." Go ahead. Yeah. She's going to have to pick between who's the nerdy helicopter guy or the awesome
badass
Ken Foray.
Yeah. So
I put money on that one.
Yeah, and I don't think Ken's going to stand for it if it winds up the other way around.
Oh, I don't think he'll be standing for nothing.
They're well, you never know.
Yeah, right. Depends, right?
So I think at some point in time, it wasn't that funny.
It was pretty
that they would want to kind of spread their wings.
I think so too.
And they got a helicopter. So,
yeah, I think at some point in time they want to see, is this thing winding down? Is it getting better? Is there another mall?
Which, by the way, is there a better vehicle to have in a zombie apocalypse than a helicopter?
No. Aside from that, I take a heavily armed, like an armored car.
Well, interestingly, they actually do that
like a military stuff. Yeah,
Dawn of the Dead.
In Land of the Dead, right? They got
no. In the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah, they make that. They armor a car.
Bus,
yeah.
Let's not talk about it. Yeah, let's not talk.
We can talk about that another time, but not.
It's
not a great opener.
I once opined on Dawn of the Dead at a film festival.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just throwing it out there.
It was gotten fisticuffs.
I don't remember what your name was, but if you're out there, I miss you.
He's sorry.
Anyway, so yeah. So yeah, I think they would leave. What do you think?
I think they're leaving. I think
that's all you're going to say is, yeah, I think they're leaving.
Because I think that, if I'm them, I'm sitting there, you're there for months. Let's say you're there for 6 months, right? You're going to get cabin fever.
Totally. Even with a big mall to run around.
Yeah. Even knowing that, the zombies are out of the wall, but okay, maybe they're congregating there, but maybe it's winding down somewhere else. You're going to want to know, is it any place gotten control of this shit? Right?
I think you would give it a year because there'd be
a year. Ooh,
yeah, and here's why I say that: you'd have enough to get by on. There'd be enough shit.
No, you got enough stuff. I think.
I think when it was nice, you could go up on the roof and hang out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like he was up there playing handball.
Yeah, exactly. So I think there's a lot of different things you could do. But once a year hit, you'd be like, dude,
we got to get out of here,
or at least go see what else is out there. Maybe you chop her out and realize.
There's
this
nothing.
whole place is still fucked. Let's go back to the mall. And the mall's going to look like paradise.
Right. Right. But sooner or later, you got to leave. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going with it. The biker gang doesn't show up. They boot.
I would say the exact same thing. Yeah.
Eventually. So, I mean, here's the other thing with that movie. They said it was, I never understood this because I don't know a lot about when they're
anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be having something to do with consumerism.
Well, it was
I understand it takes place in a mall. I get that part.
Romero's point to it was massive consumerism in that era.
Yeah,
and the referenceable part was you see all these people in their zombie state, wandering back to
just like that, like what the difference is between now and then. It's pretty cynical.
Well, yeah, I think it's really cynical, but I think that's the point: is that you've taken all these people and they're already zombies to consumerism, right?
Yeah.
They show up here every weekend, come hell or high water, and when they turn into zombies, they do the exact same thing.
That's a good point. I would like to mention though, especially in the 2000s when or I don't know when it started, but all the zombie craze happened and all that. Let's just a little shout out to old Uncle George, who invented the modern zombie.
100%.
Because before then, before Night of the Living Dead, you watched the zombie movie, it was not a flesh-eating zombie.
No,
it was just people that were under mind control.
I mean, I don't think there's a debatable point over who created.
No, George Romero is the grand.
And let's face it, it is a
great
epidemic.
Yeah,
I mean, for lack of a better term.
I mean, there's
more zombie movies than you can shake a stick at. Every 2 idiots on the planet have some kind of zombie movie somewhere. Speaking of which,
you can pick up our movie, The Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre. It's available on Blu-ray, DVD, video on demand, iTunes, Amazon, YouTube, and anywhere you could stream it or pirate it.
You can personally watch us save the bleeping world
from a zombie,
because that's what we do.
Right.
Technically, they're
visit mansonbrothers.com.
Zombie-ish.
You can get this cool t-shirt that has a funny saying on the back. You can get one of these ducky hats. Maybe we got some of these race cars left. You can get the movie as aforementioned. You can get a couple of autographed pictures of my brother and myself, which we will kindly autograph for you,
whether you like it
or not.
So, I think it's time to take it home. That's our show for this week. Please do us a favor. Check out MansonBrothers.com. Hit subscribe on your little button right there. Check out all of the shows on the Family of Arrow in the Head YouTube channel. We love everybody there. Thanks for all the help, guys. And I think that's it for this week. We will be back, whether you like it or not, in next week with another great show. We're coming back. We're the Manson Brothers. And don't forget, Put those shopping carts away, kids.
See you later, shitty pants.
And the memo for the day is do what I say, not what I do. See you next week.
He always says that.